Welcome to Inside Builder channel. How to use LLMs and AI for time series analysis of M5 dataset. This is part 3 of multi-part series that we are discussing, and we are continuing the collecting, cleaning, and EDA process that we left off in part 2. In part 2, we had loaded the data and we have cleaned the data, and we had some findings. So the findings was try to use the uh, chat feature in cursor and provide incremental instructions to the model. This was one of the main things that I was talking about, that you give incremental instructions like what exactly you want the model to do, and give, since the data is very huge and huge in the number of rows and columns, provide the model to learn about these column names, right? And keep individual steps separately, like loading, cleaning, and data understanding. Loading, cleaning, and data understanding. Right. These are all a couple of things that we came across in the last video, right? So let me go back to cursor and let us take a look. So this is the cleaned data output, and you can see that it has completed the script. If you had watched my earlier video on part 2, you would have seen that the processor was running at high speed and I was trying to get the data cleaned, and this is the clean data output. And you can see that cell prices underscore clean, calendar underscore clean, and sales train validation underscore clean. These CSVs have been added newly after the cleaning process. Okay, and you can also see how many missing values have been replaced, and those information is also provided to us by the script. So you can see that how it is actually doing that by using the is null value. So after doing all this cleaning process, you can see how many null values are there. And in case of events, there are considerable number of null values because events are not often present, right? So it's no wonder that you have null values there. Makes sense, right? Well, we have the clean data right now. So we will go for the exploratory data analysis, and we will ask the model to provide us a plotly chart for exploratory data analysis. So it will be much more informative for us to see what is there, right? So we will go back. Thanks. The cleaned data is present in the M5 folder. Next, provide the script for EDA of the data using the plotly package, and update the script in just EDA.py, EDA with plotly.py, and that's it. So we have the clean process, we have the initial load process, and now we are going to do the EDA process. So we are updating it, and let us give it a moment, and let us wait for the updated Python script. So it's looking at the data that is present in this folder for as usual, and it has also got the earlier code that it created, right? The earlier code, the just loading data, just cleaning data that it created, it's already there with it. So it will be able to use it effectively to give a very good output. So let us wait for it, and after that we will run the Plotly charts and see how the output looks. Just give it a second, let it complete. As you can see, I'm not I know what is happening. Okay, in fact, you can see that it is giving a very instructive feedback and comments everywhere, so you have to just read it. I've used this Plotly, I've used Pandas, I used work with Python pretty often. So yeah, most of the things I'm comfortable with. So let us see. It is going to give me 4 different HTMLs. So let us first of all apply it. It's better, yeah, just EDA with Plotly. So I click that. It's going to create a new Python file, and it's going to fill it with the code. So it has completely filled it with the code, and let us actually do one important check. I'm not going to review the code. Okay, I'm pretty confident about the code that it would have given a good update. So here is the load data that it is doing for calendar. Okay, and I want to see where it is. Okay, this is primarily doing it only for calendar, but where it is doing for rest of the things. Okay, let us look at the load data first. Why I'm doing this is I want to ensure that, okay, it is only loading the data for calendar clean.csv. So what about the other data sets? Okay, so let us now read. So here it is telling that the script creates several interactive Plotly visualization, and it is primarily talking about the distribution by month, distribution by event types. So it's primarily working on the calendar data. So it has decided to further break down the problem, and it is only concentrating on one particular data set. That's wonderful, right? Even I did not tell it. I did not even think about that as I was discussing with you. So let us see how's the output. Okay, so let us run the code, and Python just EDA with Plotly. Probably I need to change this code name. I need to say, okay, so here you see this is one of the challenges that will come across. Okay, you'll see that the key error is one of the major challenges again and again that occurs. And if it continues to create the error, okay, what we can do is we can use that column names that it has come. So you see that now it is giving a new issue. So it's telling that it's not able to work with the unknown format code D. Okay, so these things you can always just add it to the chat, and you can say help to correct it. So these things are some things that is missed by the logic. So you can ask the model to correct it, and it will specifically go to that particular area, and it will try to correct it. So this is how the Claude model works, and it is pretty specific in that way. So let us give it a moment, and you see that rest of the code it is leaving as it is. And once it is done, you can see the explicit conversion of year and month columns to integers using as type int. So that was the issue. So it is converting it to integer specifically, and I'm going to apply that. So you can see that it is applying it here. Each and every step when it is doing the modification, I am also trying to understand the logic that it is following, and you can see that it has completed the providing me the analysis report. So let us go to the report. Let us open the, I think I can open it there also, but let us open it with Google Chrome. Okay, so you can see that we have quite a good chart here. So we have the holiday distribution here, cultural events, national holidays, and religious holidays. It's almost having a very similar kind of a distribution. And you have the number of events based on the months here. Each of the bar chart is having the month and the year attached to it as a pop-up. So you can see that in February there is large number of events, and every year in February there is a considerable amount of events. Okay, and we might think it should be in December, right? But in December there are only 2 events. in January there are 3 events, and February there are 6. I am actually surprised why there are 6 events or 5 events in fact. So we need to figure it out. What kinds of events this is actually sharing, and it is happening consistently. So all the years have this events, and we can see that we have almost 5 years of data from 2011 to 2000. Yeah, 7 years of data. Right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years total. We have that data with us, and let us look at the next event distribution. So let us open that, and here you can see number of events again. So the same chart has been elaborated here. Let us go back, and holiday types. Again, it should be an elaboration. So this is kind of a dashboard, and this is kind of a smaller charts that has been created. Well, it has started out in a good way. So let us go back, and now let us ask for it to create the EDA for the sales. So it has done for calendar clean. So let us ask it to do for sales price. Okay. Update the. Okay, and before that I want to update this name. So I'm going to rename this as EDA, calendar EDA with Plotly. Calendar data EDA with Plotly. So I am updating the script so that we can keep track of what is happening. Okay, I'm closing this, and I'm closing the cursor also. Update the EDA script for sales clean.csv in M5 forecasting folder, and name it as sales EDA with Plotly.py. You can most of these things are never done as a script. If you remember how you do it in the past, we will actually create all the scripts inside the Jupyter notebook one by one. We will explore the data. We will try to figure out how to work with each of the columns. But now we are directly pushing the data into the LLM, and the LLM is giving us the code, and we are just executing it. A lot of time is saved, first thing, and as the code is getting generated here, I'm just talking with you guys, right? And it is doing a lot of traces right now. So I am actually thinking that it is going through the entire process of collecting the various columns, okay, and it is going to give me a extensive information. So what has happened is, the script creates two HTML with interactive visualization, calendar event analysis. So it's going to analyze the calendar events, and it is going to analyze the snap analysis. But I really don't know what is snap and what is snap benefits. Okay. So what I'm going to do is, as of now, I am going to apply it sales EDA with Plotly. So it is applying into that folder, and accept it. So it is going to accept that. So it's going to have these plot subtitles. Okay, it's again reading the calendar clean, but we wanted it to work with sales data. So where is the sales data getting read? So is it reading the sales data or not? Just a minute, let me review that. I see that it's not reading the sales data. Just give me a second. Kindly update the EDA for the sales. Okay, I think I made a mistake in the prompt. Sales clean. So I should have told sales prices clean. So that is a mistake, and it did not actually tell that. Okay, so I need to be in the M5 folder and update the. So what it did was, it has repeated the analysis with a different format for the calendar CSV. So blindly going through the code is also wrong. So you have to understand what it is doing. You need to know how the coding works, Okay, and then you can leverage it for speeding up your analysis, speeding up your process. Okay, that is the intention that I wanted to again highlight. Update the sales. I'm specifically giving the file name, Python file name. So it's reading the data right now. I have already mentioned that I need. So yeah, it's now it is trying to do something different. So here it's again taking clean calendar clean only. And I notice you want to perform EDA on calendar data based on the provided. Here is how. Okay, again, it's referring to calendar data only. Yeah. So you can see that sometimes the model goes completely off from what we want. You can see that it is giving us the same data back and back. Okay. Let me again update it. So now this time I'm going to be a little more specific. And let me see whether I can. Yeah, I think I can, attach the name, cell prices. Yeah, I can attach that. This will be a little bit difficult, but let me see how it works. Okay, provide. Yeah, you see that the moment I do this, this kind of crashes happen. Okay, keep these things in mind. So these crashes are, common when you're going to work with huge data. Okay, and that's one of the reasons. The moment I was trying to attach it, right, I was concerned that okay, what's going to happen. But knowing this and then recovering from it is one of the primary objective of these videos, right? In the future when you look at these videos, maybe this may not be the case. Your cursor might have improved a lot, and all this breaks, whatever it is, the crashes are happening, will actually go to the server, and they will start working on this. So now let us actually do a different thing. So what I'm going to do is, let me actually do this. Let me run the code on Python check columns. So this columns check is going to give me the column details of all the CSV files I have. So I had created this Python function, Python script in the last video. I think it was in the last video. So I'll be using that. I'll be extracting the columns, and I'll be giving the column details of the sales prices clean.csv, and I will ask the model to give me a EDA script. So you can see that the sale prices column is just very simple, right? It is having only 4 columns. Okay, so I'm going to copy this. I'm going to say the column name in the file sales price sell prices dot underscore clean.csv is, and it is present in M5 accuracy, forecasting accuracy folder. Provide me the EDA code for this, for the sell prices clean.csv file. Again, I'm trying this. So yeah, we can see there are considerable amount of shortcomings when we are working with cursor, right? And we can see that after a considerable amount of tries, that I realized the mistake was on my side. I had given a wrong file name. I had told sales prices underscore clean. So if you look at my earlier prompts, that was a mistake. So because of this, I had missed to get the right code. So let us now get back on track. Right. And I am going to apply this. So it is going to be sales EDA with Plotly. I moved it out. Earlier I had put it inside the CSV folder. I have just moved it out, and I think now we should have a good output. Accept. So yeah, I think it should be good. And moreover, it's not having a lot of columns. Yeah, it is having a lot of rows, but it's having less number of columns. So let us actually do the sales. In fact, we don't need to do an EDA, right? At the end of the day, the entire analysis is going to be done by the what is it called, by the model, the cloud model. So we actually don't need to do an EDA, but the EDA is for us to understand what's happening, right? You can see the mistake is in the folder name. So let me change the folder name. And M5 forecasting accuracy. Sorry about that. M5 forecasting accuracy. Yeah, that is the one. And let us execute that again. Most of the updates that you see, the auto completions you see, is coming from cursor. Okay. It is going to take a moment, and it's going to give us, I think it's going to give me 1 or 2 HTML max. That is figure2.html, that is going to be figure 2. And I think for figure 1, I should have somewhere an HTML. Yeah, there is an HTML here also. So there is going to be 2 HTML files that is going to come out. All these HTML files will be shared with you guys. So you can take a look. You can clone this repo. The repo will be available in this, in this area. The repo will be available. So you can clone the entire M5 time series with the agentic IDE. You will get, okay, now it is not cloned. Now it is not committed, so you don't see this. But once you see it in the final step, you will see all the things are updated. So the files are updated. Let me go, and you can see that price analysis by store, price analysis by item. So let us open this. So let us see what it has got. Oh wow! So that's pretty interesting. So you can see that it is giving me kind of an information which is not really good, or I should say it's actually good. So you can see the highest price variations and price frequency changes by item, which item is getting changed a lot. Items with highest price variance. So household 1259 has the highest price variance, and the price distribution by item sample. So the distribution wise, it's not actually looking good. So there is something wrong here. Okay, let us look at that. Top most expensive items. So the hobbies and foods. So these looks like the top most expensive items. Okay, cool. Let us go back and let us look at the store data. Even after all this, the way I'm doing all this analysis and EDA, it will be much more organic to do the EDA manually by yourself. When you do the EDA manually by yourself, you will be understanding a lot more information in a much more deeper fashion. Because here you see, I'm just looking at the output, and I am looking at it from a perspective of a third party, not as a person who is actually writing the code, right? So you can see the average price trends, and we can see the price distribution. So distribution doesn't look very useful, and the price range is also not that helpful. So you can see that it is giving me a box chart, but most of the distribution is almost similar to all the stores. So it's not much different. I'm not able to gain any kind of insights, except that price has been increasing. The average price trends over the time. Apart from that, I am not able to get much of an information from these analysis. Well, let us go back. So the idea is that after trying to look at it, we have some kind of information that there are some 3000 plus items. There are 10 unique stores. Average price mean, median, and the price range, etc., has been shared with us. Fine. So we have this information. Okay, we have done some basic EDA, we have done some basic cleaning, and we saw that a couple of challenges that we'll face when we don't give the file names correctly. Okay, so we will actually lead to doing the same thing again. But yeah, the EDA was not perfect. If you sit and do the EDA, you might actually come up with something much more beneficial. But as of now, we are going to just go with this data that you have got, right? So in the next video, let us go back. In the next video, what we are going to do is we will, further work on the playbook on, working with the time series analysis. We will see how to start going to the next step and do some time series data analysis in the part 4. With that said, let me get back to you in the part 4.